Hi, I'm Joe Kowalski with RetainingWallExpert.com. The reason we need retaining walls is because soil won't stand vertically. Soil also won't stand at an angle of 40, 50, or 60 degrees of inclination. In order to make soil stand at an angle steeper than it naturally can, we add something called geogrid to the soil. That's called reinforcement, soil reinforcement. If the steepness of a slope is 70 degrees or steeper, we call that a retaining wall. If it's 70 degrees or flatter, we call that a reinforced soil slope. Behind me is an example of a reinforced soil slope that is over 1,200 feet long, over 30 feet high, and has buildings on top of it as close to 10 feet away from the top of that structure. And you know what the neat thing is? It's made entirely out of lean clay soils with geogrid reinforcement. With reinforced soil slopes, there are a variety of ways you can treat the face. You're not stuck with a concrete block. You can vegetate the face, for example. This is exactly what we did in 1999 at this site. Let me show you what this site looked like about 7 years ago. If you look carefully at the photo, you will notice that it's green, it's stepped, and there's no vegetation. Several years later, we have this. Okay, you can cut. Let's take a look at the pieces that make up the facing system for this reinforced soil slope. On the outside, we have a welded wire mesh. Next, we have a black plastic geogrid netting. And on the inside, we have a green erosion control mat. The welded wire frame provides resistance so that the contractor can compact the soils behind the welded wire. The black plastic netting is anchored back into the hillside 4 or 5 feet to give this some stability. The green erosion control mat makes sure that soil is not washed out if it rains. This is what this site looked like prior to filling this with soil. You can see the welded wire frame. These diagonal braces make sure that the top of the welded wire frame doesn't tip over when they compact the soil. And the green erosion control mat in here makes sure that you don't lose soil. This is the primary geogrid. The geogrids on this reinforced slope extend about 45 feet back into the hillside. Most people would agree that a reinforced soil slope with a facing like this would not be appropriate in a residential application. It just doesn't really look that good. This does work real well in industrial applications, commercial settings, where you have to get a lot of grade change using a relatively inexpensive fill material like lean clay. This particular development is actually a high-end retail development, but this facing is not seen by the public. It faces the woods, so this gets covered over with vegetation, and it looks fine from 100 feet away.